tap, wrong teams, but now we have the real Grand Finals. We are going to be playing a best-of-7 series for the Grand Finals. To give them a little extra chance to show what they've got. And in one corner, we have Ariana Grande with CMG, Tymelia, and Shifty. And on the other corner, we have Victoria's Secret, the PHS of Evangeline Lewis, and SSDS. So we're going to have to see what this, I really hate to say it, but PHS can do to try to beat this God Comp. I mean, Victoria's Secret in a grand finals last night, but God Comp just such a difficult thing for Hunter teams and especially Cleavy teams to deal with. So we're going to have to see if they can get through that CC and get a kill either. I'm guessing it's going to come on CMG or Shifty if they can manage one.
Yeah, I mean, they might actually just ride Tymelia, trying to stop him from getting any kind of real CC off, and that's a lot of the key to getting these games done at all. Especially as a cleave, you have to ride the mage, but riding the mage means you're not going to get a kill. So they have to make some kind of agreement there where they ride the mage and they get something else to die. Getting the full deep right away on a Lewis, not getting any kind of grounding off there. Evangeline getting silenced right there into a bash right away. Lewis dropping into the full poly, and Evangeline just dropping down to 10k instantly, getting the bubble off with literally 500 HP left. Lewis in the clone, and Evangeline getting MD'd on that as well. I mean, this is just going to be scary as hell for them. Getting the link off, but I mean, how can they really recover from this? They basically just boot through every CD instantly, trying to get Hex off right there on a Tymelia to stop something. They get it off, but it gets dispelled pretty quick. And CMG dropped down to 7k HP and just getting top back up with the Disperse, but this is just going back and forth instantly, just going incredibly fast. I mean, how can really anybody follow this?
Well, man, I thought that game was over right there. CMG, Tymelia, and Shifty doing such a good job with the CC. Cross CC on SSDS and Lewis managing to get the bubble from Evangeline. Spirit Link as well. But right there, Shifty having to disperse, and he is still sitting at about 50%. Shifty trying to get those hots up. The NS is up. He's going to toss out the Cyclone on SSDS, try to slow things down, let CMG pick back up. And now Evangeline's topped. I mean, they really need to go for another great setup, but CMG actually should be scared. Big damage on SSDS here in the full bash. He is going to get topped off from Lewis there. So nice work by both Evangeline and Lewis, keeping SSDS from having to pop a detour there. Shifty goes into the Wire Instinct. Polymorphs coming out from Tymelia, trying to get those jukes in. But CMG taking big damage, and Deep Freeze onto Lewis, silence onto Evangeline. That is... Evangeline does get Lewis out of that, I believe. He does pop the NS, and Evangeline will get topped back up.
Yeah, I mean, this is just pretty much back and forth, and I really like what this God Comp is doing with Evangeline. They're basically silencing him so that he can't use anything like a wall, really making this hard for him to deal with. And right there, Lewis dispelling that, getting into a full poly right out of it, almost using that as a deep, getting sacked out of it right away, though. And right now, we have both teams kind of resetting a little bit, trying to figure out what they should do. And one thing I'm looking at right now is Shifty's mana. He's down to 80,000 mana this early in the match. I mean, we're only 2.5 minutes in. And at this point, you have to wonder, is the God Comp just going to sit here trying to peel the PHS? This is going a lot different than what I was seeing before. And now we have the coil on Evangeline with the silence, getting trinketed and walled with Lewis into the deep, into the Frostjaw. And possibly, Poly, looks like they do manage to stop that with Evangeline choosing to bop himself right there. So,
and there's the Avenging Wrath from Evangeline. Actually, awesome job peeling that out. Shifty goes into the full Hodge. Lewis does get sacked out of the... full sheet from Tymelia, and CMG taking some big damage, Evangeline taking some big damage, full fear onto Lewis. He does have the Avenging Wrath up still, and CMG goes down. Wow, no chance for a counter kill here, and Shifty leaves the game. Tymelia is going to leave the game too, so surprise win, Victoria's Secret, showing they have what it gets, or showing they have what it takes to get the win against a very difficult God Comp. Really solved the puzzle of how to get the disperse from CMG, and then once no disperse was up, getting that Avenging Wrath. It took near the end of it, but they do get the kill.
And I'm actually thinking about something. I just saw Evangeline update his Real ID status earlier. How much armor mitigation percent does Shadow Form give? And now it kind of makes sense thinking about it. After seeing that game, I didn't ever see them before. They weren't training the Shadow Priest. Now they are, and you can definitely see that it works for them. Pretty much taking him from 100% to like 20% instantly, and at that point, just getting that dispersed right away. It does look like our next match is going to be the Tolverin, though, so we do have a little bit bigger room for this God Comp to maneuver, kind of kite and try and live. But as a Shadow Priest, you don't have that much mobility. It's going to be up to his partners to leave enough CC laying out there to stop this PHS from doing anything.
Yeah, I think Evangeline just played excellent that last game. There was a moment when they did land that CC onto Lewis. I think it was a frost jaw, deep freeze into frost jaw, and Evangeline peeled out, really kept himself up through the whole thing. I don't think there was a follow-up sheep onto Lewis. I don't think they had one available at the time. Maybe it was sacked out, but Evangeline made some big moves, kiting away when his team really could have been in trouble. And SSDS putting out so much pressure once again. Really just no way for CMG to live through that after Disperse is popped. So we're going to have to see if this God comp can keep offensive, keep the pressure on. That last game they opened so well. Let's see if they can do it again. We are going to follow Evangeline out of the gates here. Let's see if they can open in the same sort of fashion as last time with that instant Disperse on CMG after bubble from Evangeline.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see if they can do this again, or maybe it was a fluke, but I kind of feel like the way they did that, they just swapped it and just got the damage out, giving themselves a window where they had the damage, weren't going to get peeled, and just pretty much one-shotting them. We have to see if they can do this again, or maybe they're going to pick up a different target from this God comp. And,
Yep.
Shifty already into the full Weaver and into the trap, getting it MD'd at the last second, and now he doesn't have that MD for the Hodge. Huge mistake there with SSDS already taking damage, getting a tur out with a trinket actually as well, and Lewis into the full fear. Evangeline getting peeled as well. I mean, SSDS is going to just die if he doesn't get this first off. He gets it off at the last possible second. It looks like it's going to be a half clone on Lewis, getting that trinketed into an NS right away. Clone on SSDS. I mean, they're just dominating them right now. They can't even do anything. This is going to be a link if it's anything at all. I mean, he can't even get it off. He's not in range. He's just going to drop right there.
Wow, the cross CC there by that God comp was phenomenal. The switch onto the Hunter, I mean, SSDS, I think, thought that Evangeline was definitely going to be the target. You saw him disengage right in. He was trying to get some CC out onto Shifty, but it did not work out for him. They switched hard to him, put those sheeps on to Evangeline to stop the cross CC from getting sacked out of, and really just an awesome job there by the God comp, controlling Evangeline, which controls the both the bops and it controls the sacks, and that really was enough for them to just create a very, very long 3v1, both deters getting blown before any heals came out, and that Cyclone by Shifty, 35% on SSDS, nothing that he could do. So that evens the series 1-1. And these two teams, one's going home with $210, one is going home with nothing. So it's go big, go all in, or go home. And we're going to see which team can pull it out after two very exciting games, very bursty.
Yeah, I mean, now we do have the game. Now we're going to be on Blade's Edge. Kind of wonder, is Blade's Edge going to be any better for the PHS? I kind of feel like it will be. They have this short little pillar to run down and pretty much just run straight at CMG. CMG is not going to be able to run from them. They don't have enough room to set up. Is this going to be something that Tymelia, Shifty, and CMG just can't make a comeback from? Last match they had that insane cross CC the entire game, pretty much making it 3v1 throughout the entirety of it. This game, it's going to be a lot harder.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting sort of situation because on Tolviran Arena there was so much room for that God comp to maneuver, and SSDS did a great job pulling back, but it also brought him a long way away from Lewis. This game, it might be difficult for Lewis to avoid CC, but last game it was landing on him as well. The difference is there's not much wiggle room for either team, so I think CMG is going to get connected on a lot here, and I think this team of Victoria's Secret, as they move in, is going to want to connect right in on him. They're not going to want Tymelia to have any room to blink in, put a deep freeze, and try to get those sheeps out.
Yeah, and that was the biggest thing last match, where they pretty much got the sheep right away and got, pretty much free of charge. They got all the damage off in SSDS. Right now they have a full CC chain right now with the cross CC, with the deep and Frostjaw, the silence, and then the bash and coil onto SSDS. Lewis choosing to dispel right there into yet another full poly. CMG having to use the disperse though right away with the cooldowns up off of Evangeline. And they're actually going off into the Shifty right here. This could be dangerous for Shifty, choosing to Iron Skin that onto a Hodge already, so he pre-Iron Skins that. Lewis getting feared on that. SSDS getting it turned around a little bit on him, but Shifty still sitting low at 90k, 100k. This is not looking good for the God comp at this point, where both teams are forcing out CDs equally.
Yeah, right there we saw really intense exchange there. Evangeline's PHS putting out so much pressure. No disperse for Shifty, or excuse me, for CMG. Shifty having to pop the bark skin on himself. So I think this PHS actually has a lot of kill potential, but SSDS did have to pop that deter. Lewis goes into some DRCC. I don't think it's going to be enough. That is a very DR'd Frostjaw, but SSDS is still going to stay up. Do they have the burst to add anything? No, it looks like he is going to get topped from an NS there. So CMG now taking a lot of damage, dropping below 40%. He gets topped off with that NS heal. Cyclone's coming out onto Evangeline. Deep Freeze onto Lewis. Can they follow that up with a CC? Locked out for Tymilia, so he doesn't get anything. He is going to pop Frostjaw, but I think that is grounded by Lewis. So awesome work by the Victoria's Secret here of peeling those possible 8-second CCs that could have landed onto Lewis, and now they're going to try to turn it back around full Hodge onto Shifty. CMG taking a lot of damage. He is at 50%. Regrow's coming out from Shifty. Gonna top CMG back up here. Lewis goes into the sheep, half sheep. SSDS taking pretty big damage. Evangeline is in a Cyclone. Lewis goes into a Deep Freeze. Now SSDS is in real trouble. Cyclone onto Evangeline. Frostjaw onto Lewis. Will SSDS go down? 18%, 1%, 0%, there it is. Wow. That God comp has the CC chain down. I mean, that is what we've seen every game they've played. The damage that they put out is pretty high, but when they get that cross CC chain going for 15, 20 seconds, put out those double Ice Novas, the Comet Storm, the 3-orb DP from the Priest, or is it 5-orb DP now?
Well, 3-orb, but it's still, yeah, 3-orb.
Yeah, the 3-orb DP. See, I'm still learning my stuff, guys. But yeah, huge pressure from that God comp, and yeah, that was the story of the game. Really, Victoria's Secret had an excellent chance to finish it there. Got dispersed, got that bark skin on Shifty, really, really behind, but they didn't have enough offensive pressure there. They did an excellent job getting Lewis out of some CC, but they followed it up with a lot more, and really excellent job chaining stuff together and finishing it off there by Ariana Grande. So they will take the 2-1 lead in this series.